listening to Crystal Clear Lore, a Wormsong production. Archive Logs. Log Entry 1, August 24th, 11:42 p.m. Location: Archive Sub-Level 4, Metropolitan Transit Vaults. As an archivist in this city, I've heard it all. Everyone says I'm overly obsessed with details or mock my relentlessly clear desk. It's because I'm precise to a fault. They look at my color-coded filing system and my insistence on catching single-pixel misalignments in the city's digital blueprints, and they brush it off as mere neurosis. But they don't see the threads. I see them every time the city starts to fray. A modern metropolis isn't just a grid of asphalt, glass, and copper wire. It's more alive than that. Millions of people walk these streets every day, sowing ambition, noise, frustration, and frantic energy into the environment. My family's gift, the ancient burden passed down to the women of our line, is to reap that chaos and stitch the structural order back together before the whole place collapses under its own weight. If I align the files, line up the ledger entries, and clear the urban static, the concrete stays solid beneath 8 million pairs of feet. Until tonight, I was auditing the abandoned 1920s transit terminal beneath 4th Street, just a routine sweep to make sure the forgotten structural supports weren't warping. But when I shined my flashlight onto the back wall of Track 3, the concrete wasn't just crumbling from age, it was unraveling. I reached out to touch the wall, expecting to feel cold, cracked cement. My fingers instead sank into damp, dark earth. Actual rich soil, smelling of ancient rot, marsh gas, and wet leaves, right beneath the high-voltage third rail. Then I saw the midnight passengers on the upper platform. People began stepping off the train, completely oblivious to their surroundings, and walked right above the patch of earth. As they crossed the threshold of that strange, primordial smell, their faces went blank. A man in a tailored suit dropped his phone, stared at his own palms with wide, hollow eyes, and forgot his destination mid-step. A woman dropped her briefcase, blinked at the neon signs, and asked herself where she was. Something ancient beneath the city's foundation is waking up. It's hungry for the order we've built, and it's swallowing the grid whole. Log Entry 2, August 27th, 2:15 a.m. Location: Highline Greenhouse Number 7. I haven't slept more than 2 hours a night since Monday. The tear at 4th Street expanded another 3 feet since yesterday afternoon. A whole section of the platform's tilework dissolved into thick, black mud during the evening rush, causing a 40-minute delay that dispatch blamed on unspecified signal failure. It was obvious that I had no choice. Tonight, I climbed up to Greenhouse Number 7, perched discreetly on the roof of the abandoned industrial rail tower overlooking the financial district. It's the only place left in the city where the old grain grows. The golden, metallic wheat my grandmother swore our ancestors harvested in open fields long before towers scraped the sky. Here in the city, it doesn't grow in soil anymore. It feeds on sunlight, pure geometry, and crisp, clear logic. I harvested 4 stalks tonight using my silver shears. The stems feel like spun wire, vibrating with a high-frequency hum that makes my teeth ache. When held near the decaying concrete, the golden fibers glow, unwinding themselves to weave into the cracks like invisible rebar. They hold the modern world together for a few hours, reinforcing the load-bearing beams with pure, structured intent. I thought it could at least buy us time, but it was like using a bandage on a hemorrhaging artery. The entity beneath the subway isn't just physical decay. It's the original wild. It's the primeval swamp that existed before the first surveyor laid down a baseline. It hates the grid. It hates our train schedules, our street maps, our glass towers, and our regimented hours. It wants to pull the entire metropolis back down into the dark, chaotic mud from which it was torn. My hands were shaking while I bound the harvested stalks with copper thread, and that's the real curse of this gift. The moment I doubt myself, the moment my focus slips into perfectionism, fear, or self-criticism, The weave fails. I made one uneven knot on the binding thread, and the glass floor beneath my workbench immediately frosted over with spiderweb cracks, softening into damp clay. I had to stop, close my eyes, count down from 10, and retie the knot with absolute, unwavering precision. Order isn't a natural state. It has to be maintained, minute by minute, breath by breath, lest we all fall into chaos. Log entry 3, August 31st, 1:05 a.m. Location, Archive Sublevel 4, Inner Sanctum. August is ending, and the city is burning through its reserves. The decay is spreading upward through the transit veins. It's no longer confined to 4th Street. Reports are coming in across the internal archivist network. A modern glass elevator in the banking precinct descended into the basement and opened its doors onto a wall of impenetrable, ancient briars. A street lamp on 5th Avenue began weeping sap instead of casting light. The digital timetables at Grand Central flickered out and briefly displayed symbols that haven't been written since the Bronze Age. The wild demands attacks on the city's frantic, unchecked growth. We built the city too fast, paved over too much land without honoring the balance. Now the Earth is reclaiming its debt. I spent the last 6 hours cross-referencing the city's 19th century land deeds with current structural schematics. The heart of the anomaly must sit directly over the original spring that fed the old marshlands. The exact point where the city's founders first laid down a grid to trap the wilderness, right under what is now City Hall. To seal it, I can't just patch the walls anymore. I have to perform a complete harvest. I have to go down into the root of the fault line, face the primordial chaos, and reassert the boundary between the wild world and the human order. Log entry 4, September 2nd, 4:30 a.m. Location, Platform 3, 4th Street Vault. Subject, Final Intervention Log. The morning commute starts in less than 2 hours. Hundreds of thousands of people are about to pour into these subterranean arteries, completely unaware that the concrete beneath their boots is fighting a war against the primordial dark. I'm standing at the edge of Track 3. The air down here doesn't smell like ozone and grease anymore. It smells like a dense, ancient forest after a torrential downpour. The third rail is half buried in crawling ivy that sparks with blue electricity whenever the wind blows through the tunnel. My kit is packed and checked. A data drive encased in polished brass, loaded with the city's complete historical and geometric blueprint. My grandmother's silver shears, polished to a mirror finish. 8 stalks of golden, light-fed wheat from greenhouse number 7, bound tightly with the fine copper wire. My heart is beating fast, but my hands are finally steady. Perfection isn't about never feeling fear. It's about executing the work with absolute clarity despite it. If you find this journal in the archives, it means the sweep failed, and the forest swallowed the concrete back. But if the trains run on time today, if the lights stay bright in the skyscrapers, and if the ground feels solid and unyielding beneath your feet, know that someone stood in the dark with a handful of golden grain, sweeping the chaos back to the edge of the world. Ethan Cross found the leather-bound ledger resting open on Maya's empty desk, right next to a meticulous stack of untouched morning reports. Maya had been missing for a fortnight, and it was Ethan's job to clean out her desk. Once he picked up the journal and read through the frantic, impossibly detailed entries with a growing sense of uneasy fascination, it was obvious what happened to Maya. While Ethan was trying to process her wild claims about glowing wheat, ancient wildness, and crumbling concrete, he concluded that she must have suffered a tragic mental break. Which was a shame, as she had been the most brilliant archivist in the entire department. Shaking his head, Ethan turned to the steel filing cabinet, neatly sliding the journal into its newly designated slot between the 1920 structural audits and the subway expansion blueprints. But as the heavy drawer clicked shut, the fluorescent lights overhead flickered once, casting long, strange shadows across the concrete floor. The air suddenly turned heavy and damp, thick with the rich, unmistakable scent of rain-soaked earth and decaying leaves. Ethan turned toward the exit, but when he took a step, his heel didn't click against the hard floor. Instead, he sunk into cold, black mud, and as he stared down at his shoes, the name of his destination quietly slipped out of his head.
Welcome back to Crystal Clear Lore. I'm Crystal, and I am joined today by a man who's going to feel very called out and very much put on the spot, Brady.
Hello. Yeah, that's me. I'm a virgin.
Not a virgin. He has children. We have evidence.
I mean, I could have adopted them.
They look far too much like you.
They came from outer space.
So did you come from outer space?
No, just them. I was innocent in all of this. What are you talking about?
This is a lie.
I didn't do nothing.
Now, interestingly, Virgo is Latin for virgin. Shocker. I know. But here, instead of being applied to men and women, it's mostly applied to women for this sign because it also can mean maiden.
Yeah, I just want you all to know that based on the audio drama, you probably couldn't figure out what this was about. So hopefully you can read the title, but that's what we're talking about today. It's another Zodiac.
I wasn't sure how to put too much Virgo tendencies in without it making it sound really, really mean to you.
Well, I mean, I am what I am.
It's about Virgo as a virgin. There's a lot of stuff that I don't want to touch there because we'll get demonetized very, very quickly.
I don't even know if I can use the word virgin in even the transcripts at this point. I might have to bleep them out.
I think you should be fine, hopefully.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out real quick.
We'll find out together, audience.
The symbol for Virgo is similar to a cursive capital M, but on the right side of that M, there's like another loop that crosses over the last leg.
Yeah, loop legs.
It's got a loopy leg. I think I put that on the thumbnail, so hopefully you guys can be able to see it. But it's not the easiest one to describe. Virgos are not just known as the virgins or the maidens, but they are also known as the perfectionists because everything needs to go just how they envision it, even if they have to practice the skill to obtain that particular way for a very long time.
Story time. I sat there with my head in my hands for about, I would say 10 minutes now, right before we hit record for the conversation part of this, trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to perfectly score this before I remembered what we were talking about. So yeah, I feel a bit called out. I feel like you did that on purpose.
I really didn't. I never know what's going to trigger your Virgo-ness. It just kind of happens. And I'm like, crap.
But hopefully, by the time you're listening to this, you'll have heard a perfect audio drama.
It'll be as perfect as you can make it.
Yeah.
It'll be your version of perfect.
I'm going to pat myself on the back preemptively now.
Virgos are logical, practical, and systematic in how they deal with the world. Very much exactly how you are when you sit there trying to figure out the systems to deal with anything like scoring the audio drama.
I'm a little bit more violent in how I want to deal with the world, but we won't go down that hole.
That's because you're a man, and you're tired of living in the post-capitalistic nightmare that we live in. Yay.
Aren't we all? But we won't get political. Let's get zodiacal. I made that up.
No.
Trademark.
I don't think anyone's going to fight you for that. I think you just can have that free and clear.
I was trying to start a fight, but I guess I don't get one.
Nope, no fights for you. A good way to think of how Virgos think is like me, a Cancer. I would start sentences with, well, I feel like, this makes me feel. It's all about feelings, right?
I never think about that.
You don't, because you start with, I think, every single time.
Or I skip that and just go straight from the wisdom.
Yeah, the quote unquote wisdom.
I go, I know this is the case.
Yeah, it's always, I know, I think. It's always logical and rational and cold and emotionless.
Like a Terminator. Maybe that's why I'm so violent in my mind.
Are you Arnold?
Get to the popcorn.
Okay, out of everything I thought we would do, I did not think we would throw an Arnold in there, but there it is.
You gotta have one every once in a while.
So Virgos are also very detail-oriented, which is why Brady is a natural at making the audio drama sound fantastic. Gotta boost you up here after you have a complete mental breakdown because...
Is this subjective now that they sound fantastic?
I think I have never heard a single complaint about your audio dramas.
This is gonna go straight to my head.
No, it's not, because in like an hour, when you have to look at, well, how am I going to even score this next new audio drama, you'll completely fall apart again until you have a system built that's based in pure logic and facts and detailed out with bullet points and color coding, and it's beautiful and it all makes sense to everyone, to no one else but you.
You'll never hear this because I don't record it, but my system is to bang my head on the damn desk, and then eventually gold kind of happens. There might be a little bit of tears in there too.
There's usually some tears.
Not from the pain.
Virgos are very cognizant of every little piece of something, whether that be ingredients in a meal, sound effects in media, or anything else.
Or a piece of pizza.
Literally go watch like a really well done audio engineered movie or show or something with a Virgo, because they point out all these little details that matter so much to them. But to your brain, you're like, oh, that did sound good. You're so right. I didn't notice any of that.
Speaking from experience, you just shouldn't watch a movie with a Virgo.
What? I love watching movies with you.
Because I'll go in and explain like all of the nuance of cinematography and filmmaking theory. And it's, it probably gets a little daunting for the casual watcher.
It's like a crash course in cinematography and audio engineering. It really is. And writing.
Right? You mean writing?
You usually pick out lazy writing things before I'll catch on to them.
Oh, like in your stuff or like in books?
Like books.
Or in movies,
Movies specifically. I don't usually try to do too many lazy writing tropes. It does happen, but I try to avoid them.
Yeah, you're usually pretty good with your writing, pretty solid.
But you'll know it's like, oh, that's just lazy writing. And I'm like, well, I guess it is, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of filmmakers specifically, or the writers of the films, they really lean into tropes a lot, at least recently, and since about, 2014, I would say. Everything's just a derivative. But I digress.
That's fair.
I think that's also another Virgo thing.
Yes, it really is, because you are methodical and hardworking, and yet committed to accomplishing your goal. Of course, this can lead to burnout and exhaustion, so Virgos, take some time to take care of yourself too, which you're terrible at.
When did this become my resume?
I don't know.
Hey, if anyone's hiring.
I mean, I felt really on the spot when we did Cancer. I'm not going to lie, because I'm like, oh, yeah, I do that. Oh, yeah, I do that. Oh, look at me. I do that too. Great.
Please go back and listen to the Cancer episode.
Ugh.
I was biting my nails, biting my tongue. I was biting anything I could bite, not to, I didn't know how to respond. I think I've gone through this before, but I was like, I don't want to offend her.
You can't really offend me. That's the fun thing.
But yeah, I could have called you out a lot.
Yeah, you did. You do still. I'll do something and you're like, well, that's so Cancer of you. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I know.
You and your little hard shell and your gooey, mushy insides.
Nope, no mush. Only hard shell.
I might be the only one that gets to see the bushy insides or experience them.
I'm sorry.
Not talking about sex.
I didn't even think about that. Wow. Okay. I was going to say that no, because you don't even know all my secrets. Our cat knows all my secrets. So there.
Fair enough. Okay. Cats are the keepers of the secrets.
Aura knows everything.
She's a good cat.
She's the best cat.
I would be scratching her little butt.
I do miss the cat. She needs to come back inside. Virgo's ruling planet is Mercury, which Gemini also is ruled by. However, Gemini focuses on like expression and productivity, right? They're like the messengers with Mercury / Hermes. But Virgo is more about information and processing. A Virgo's brain processes information similar to a computer, able to sort even horribly jumbled information into something organized and usable.
You guys know that meme with the dude from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he's got all of the yarn and the pictures, and he's freaking out? That's my brain 24/7.
Yep.
Any new piece of information that I get, I have to lock it into the entire worldview that I've created, which goes from about the inception of the universe to the heat death of the universe and everything in between. And so it gets exhausting. I'm going to say it.
Well, maybe take some time islands and do some meditation or something.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is every Virgo, but I also happen to just have a nonlinear systems thinking brain. But it sounds like it might be not just me.
It's not just, we have 2 children that are also Virgos. Pray for me. And they all both think like you. And one is not biologically yours, but she is more your daughter than she is her biological father's daughter.
I don't understand it. I guess Virgo things are very prevalent.
Yeah, and then you wonder why I want to kind of make you into speed bumps some days.
Sounds pretty good.
Mostly I'm just like, go, you guys stay home and just go kill each other because not everything's going the way you want it to, and I'm going to go be in the woods. Bye.
I would probably be so stressed out if I wasn't the perfect speed bump to run over.
So speed bump or not, Virgos, I need to remind all of you, not just Brady sitting here, you are not computers just because you think like one, and you are not perfect just because you want to be. Humans are inherently flawed.
Bleep, blurp, blurp, bleep.
Applying unrealistic expectations of perfection to themselves or others, especially others, is a common pitfall that Virgos must strive to avoid. Remember?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you're really bad at this. We've had so many fights over loading the dishwasher to the point that I just gave up.
I have a system for that.
You do have a system for that.
I just try to teach you my system.
No. But you don't call it a system. You're like, well, you need to do it this way. And I'm like, I don't like your way. It's stupid and it breaks my brain.
That doesn't compute.
So remember, Virgos, flaws are not defects. Flaws are what makes us, us.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn that lately.
You have greatly improved from when we first started dating 9 years ago. I will say that.
My brain just sees flaws as more of a challenge. Like, I got to get my shit together. But yeah, that just kind of falls back into the loop.
Yeah, thanks for proving my point.
It's what I'm here for.
But not all hope is lost for the Virgo. I've kind of been ragging on them a little bit, especially since Brady's sitting right here. At their core, Virgos just want to help others. They are kind, gentle, and supportive in their relationships, able to use their intelligence and resourcefulness to solve problems that come their way. Of course, this will be done logically instead of spiritually, as they focus on providing workable solutions and repairing broken systems.
Funny story, to prove your point further.
Yeah.
I got stressed out and I needed a distraction. So I literally designed an entirely new Bill of Rights for the United States.
Yeah, he did this. This is real stuff.
Because I just want everybody's lives to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I have the file to prove it.
Again, this man did this for fun.
Yeah, I was bored and was really stressed out. I needed a distraction. This was just a Tuesday for me. That's just one of the things. Don't go through my Gemini history, and especially if you're the government.
And we live with two little versions of you. And do you see why there's a stressful thing there? I love all three of you.
Oh, they're going to take over the world. Especially the boy.
The boy.
He's going to take over the world.
What? It's probably the funniest part about Virgo, by the way, is Virgo is the mutable earth sign. So earth is like they're grounded, they're reliable, they're practical. But mutable means that Virgos are the most adaptable earth sign, which I will say you have adapted very well in the last 9 years to moving from a city to a rinky-dink small town.
Extremely hard transition.
He moved out to a rinky-dink small town for me, so he gets husband points.
Yay! How do I cash those in?
No, you don't get to cash them in.
Is that like a Bitcoin?
Nope, they're just gold stars.
I'll take them.
Okay, cool.
I like gold.
They love variety and novelty and are constantly undergoing metamorphoses. So yes, Virgos are focused on details and perfection, but they're also constantly adapting what that means to them.
Loving novelty is an understatement, and this might be me personally, but I'm literally addicted to it. I can't, it's really hard to exist after you've done so many things.
We have to go travel every once in a while or his brain gets all cooped up. He's got that wanderlust blood.
We went to Wallace, Idaho recently. That was a wonderful trip. There was so much novelty there.
That was great. I halfway convinced him to move.
Yeah, it'd have been cool.
Halfway. I'll get the other half.
Leavenworth, Washington was also a wonderful trip. Way more novelty there than anywhere I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's like a little German town, like a Bavarian town, very themed. It was really cool.
It was very nice.
100% recommend a trip there. I don't care where you're from. If you're from freaking Timbuktu, get yourself a flight to Leavenworth, Washington.
Actually, I think you have to fly into like Spokane or Seattle and drive, but...
It's really close to Seattle.
Is it? It's on the Seattle side of Washington?
Yeah, I think it's only an hour and a half away, maybe less than that.
Okay. I'm not too sure because after a while, when you drive through the flat emptiness of the middle of Washington, time is irrelevant.
Yes.
What is time when you're in the flats of Washington?
Don't get me started on Washington because I just realized recently that it used to be like an ocean and the Idaho-Washington border was the shore because of the Missoula flood and all the different prehistoric things going on. I don't know. I'm not a geometrist.
I feel like you got that wrong.
Nope.
Geometry is math.
Yeah, I'm not a geomanist.
No, geologist.
Yeah, I'm not a geographist.
Better, closer?
I'm just messing
Still
with you.
wrong? Okay. So when it comes to their legends, Virgo's got a ton, which I'm kind of jealous about because mine was so sad and like a little like, oh, here's a little footnote. That's what you are, Cancer. And Virgo's like, I have all the lore. So much of it.
As a Virgo, I have a footnote fetish.
What? No, gross.
I like all the extra information.
That's true.
That was a packed statement.
I don't know. I don't like that.
Have fun with that.
Oh, yes. The internet will definitely not do anything with that. 100%. That will stay an innocent little thing in history and will never, ever come back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah, the internet never does that.
No, of course not.
Nope.
So, like most astrological signs that we have covered thus far, the Hellenic, Greek, and Roman legends have the strongest association. There are a few different associations for Virgo here, though. The first, and probably the strongest, is the goddess Astraea. Astraea is the virgin goddess of justice, good faith, and modesty. During the Golden Age, when the gods lived among us lowly mortals and no evil existed in the world, Astraea was one of the last gods to still remain. Then the other ages came, when humans began to become corrupt and less virtuous. And although she tried to shame and threaten the humans to return to their old ways, she was unsuccessful. All the other gods left, and she was the last one to remain until she also could not deal with them anymore. She then became the constellation in the sky, which looks like a maiden holding a sheaf of wheat or a bushel of corn.
I don't know about the sky.
I mean, you're closer, but you're still off. So the other two Hellenic associations is due to the constellation holding like corn or wheat in most depictions. This then would tie them to either the goddess Demeter, goddess of the harvest, or even her daughter Persephone, who we did a whole episode on a few months ago.
Yeah, good old Persephone.
I'm so angry at you. I don't even know why. That just really made me angry.
She's not a big fan of puns.
This made me angry. There was one more little kind of side note Hellenic tie to Virgo. Erigone was an Athenian maiden and the daughter of Icarus. That Icarus.
Which Icarus?
Icarus that flew too close to the sun. Dionysus, god of wine, taught Icarus how to make wine because Dionysus wanted to party. That's kind of what he does.
That's all he does.
Well, Icarus was like, hey, this is really good stuff I made. I should give some to the local shepherds.
Yeah, get the shepherds drunk.
Yeah, it'll be fine. The shepherds did get drunk. But because they had never been drunk before, they assumed that he poisoned them.
Did Dionysus have anything to do with Jesus turning water into wine?
I feel like that's blasphemy in multiple religions, and I'm impressed that you were able to do that.
I think that would be a fun story.
I don't want to touch that with a 30-foot pole. I'm good. We don't need all the crazy Christians banging down our studio door.
Nobody said Jesus was not a party animal.
Again, not touching that. They're going to get you.
If you're a Christian and you listen to this, have fun.
Yeek. So yeah, the shepherds assumed they were poisoned. And because they thought they were poisoned, they got their quote-unquote revenge on Icarus and murdered him.
Cold blood.
In their grief, Erigone and her dog Mayra commit suicide.
I keep thinking like oregano and arugula.
You know, I can see that, especially since these are Greek names, and I am just praying I'm saying these correctly. We'll see.
At least they're not Polish or Romanian.
I know a lot of the Romanian and Polish tricks, though.
Oh, good.
So Greek is something that I'm like, it doesn't come up too frequently until we started doing this podcast, and so I haven't learned all the tricks yet. The gods, seeing, especially Dionysus, who kind of caused this whole thing, saw kind of what happened with Icarus, Erigone, and Mayra, and so they placed them in the sky. Erigone became Virgo, Mayra became Canis Minor, and Icarus became Boötes, and so their loyalty to each other was never forgotten. And they are all kind of grouped together up in the sky.
Is there any information on which star systems make up the Virgo cluster? I guess the cluster would be way too big, but
it's not
the constellation.
Constellation, not cluster.
There is a Virgo supercluster. Look that up. That'll blow your mind.
Yeah, trust me. You get into like space stuff and it gets really crazy.
Please don't get me started on space stuff.
The major star systems in Virgo are Spica, which is Alpha Virginis. That is the brightest star in the constellation and the 15th brightest in the entire night sky.
Shout out, 15th.
And there's Porrima, which is the second brightest star system in the constellation. It is a well-known binary star system containing two similar white main sequence stars located about 38 light years away. Not that far, honestly, for stars.
That's pretty close.
Vendemiatrix in Eta Virginis and Zeta Virginis are the other three major ones. Out of that one, the closest one is Zeta Virginis, and that is a binary star system that is about 74 light years there.
It's Zeta.
Is it Zeta? What did I say?
Zeta.
Oh. I didn't study astronomy. I'm not an astronomer, not an astronomist. Now, Mesopotamia had recognized the constellation Virgo before the Greeks, and they originally called it the furrow with a barley stalk, which it was also associated with a harvest goddess, as it would be time to harvest the barley when it appeared in the sky.
Makes sense. That's kind of the end of August towards the early September.
Yeah, it's time to harvest the barley. So the goddess was Ishtar or Inanna. Now, we did talk about her a little bit in the Leo episode where we discussed her as the goddess of war and love, but she is also a harvest goddess and the queen of heaven in Mesopotamian lore. Every time we even touch on Ishtar or Inanna, there's so much lore that wants to come up that I'm like, I can't talk about her much because that'll just dominate the whole episode. She needs her own. In the Egyptian Dendera zodiac, the maiden is still holding a stalk of grain or sometimes even a palm branch. Interestingly here, Virgo is being associated with the goddess Isis, who we did do a full episode on previously with her husband Osiris. And that's because you can't really talk about Isis too much without talking about Osiris.
Yeah, we did a whole episode about that.
Now, interestingly here, Virgo is not being tied as a harvest goddess or about growing or anything like that. What she is being tied to is the miraculous birth of Horus, which we briefly covered that pretty well on the Isis Osiris episode. I wouldn't call it a virgin birth because I doubt that Isis, who was married, was a virgin before she got pregnant by her husband. But still, I'm like, y'all have been married for a while. There ain't no way.
There's a song called Like a Virgin.
Yeah, Madonna.
I don't think she was a virgin either.
I doubt it. The last pantheon to explore for the lore of Virgo was the Norse, and we've run once again into no surviving records of how the Norse people saw the constellation. And this is because the only thing we really have, it was written by Snorri Sturluson, and it was very much tied into Christianity at that time. No one really knows for sure if he did it because they are just similar or if he tied it in there in order to try to preserve what he could.
I'm not sure. That was back when Christianity was a lot more pure. The weird ritualistic Catholic Church hadn't kind of come around yet.
Well, it was all the Vatican. It was literally all the Vatican.
Yeah, but they I don't think at that point they were super duper ritualistic yet. I think it was a lot more kind of underground. Like, am I thinking of the right time?
No, you're thinking earlier.
Yeah, I think I am.
Because when the Vikings had to deal with Christianity starting to surface up its head over in the Nordic Peninsula, that was the Vatican. They used to, so the Vikings before they became Christian, because there's a whole thing there. They did raid and pillage the churches because that's where you'd find all the gold and the wealth, right?
You gotta go where the gold is, yeah.
A lot of them converted, not all, but a lot of them converted due to a lot of factors. We have to do a whole history podcast for that one. I'm going to be honest. That's a whole deep dive into that. Because the spread of Christianity, whether or not you're religious, it has effects on everybody for multiple reasons in multiple different sections of our lives.
I may be conflating the timeline a little bit, but there was a time when the Catholic Church, they hadn't adopted too much of the pagan kind of feeling to it yet.
The reason that they have so many holidays now is because they stole it from the pagans. It's easier to convert the heathen when you give them something familiar.
Yeah. Let me just put it this way. I don't think Jesus, there was never mentioned anything about incense and waving it around and doing chants. I think that's a pagan borrowed thing.
It probably is. I didn't read the Bible. Wait. At Jesus' birth.
That was a little different. I'm not talking about
There's incense and myrrh though, right?
Yes, but I mean, as far as waving it around and doing chants and all these weird, the Gregorian chants and all of that kind of weird stuff, there was a time before all of that it was basically just an indie religion.
Yeah, so you're thinking pre-Middle Ages?
I think I might
be. The Middle
yeah.
Ages is really where that stuff really grabbed hold.
Okay.
And a reminder that I sat there and I read Dan Jones's book about that, and it took me 3 months because it was over 1,000 pages in tiny font, and I had to sit there and take breaks.
Are you talking about the Da Vinci Code?
No. You're thinking of Dan Brown.
Oh, okay. You can see how I got those mixed up.
Dan Jones is the historian that I found his book about the Middle Ages on and read that for an ungodly amount of time, but learned a lot.
Okay.
And then he wrote the Essex Dogs trilogy that I got super into.
That's what I was thinking of from Dan Jones, yeah.
Yeah, that's Dan Jones. Dan Jones is a historian. Dan Brown wrote his stuff specifically to poke holes in the law of the Vatican's stuff.
Well, that one was really fun, at least.
His newest book is apparently about psychology, and I did think about getting it for you for a while, but you are buried in Neil Stephenson. So when you're done with that, I'll get you that Dan Brown book.
My brain's going to be fried from Neil Stephenson. Believe me. If you've never experienced a Neil Stephenson novel, well, go experience it, and it'll fry your brain.
Yeah, read a book, guys. It's good. Solve the literacy crisis.
It's like high fantasy, but sci-fi. It's that dense.
He doesn't read high fantasy, but I do read sci-fi. So when he was telling me about like, oh, it's just like there's a lot of denseness and he has to really set all this stuff up. And I'm like, oh, it's high fantasy. Yeah.
For those initiated, I'm reading Seven Eves right now. And everyone who reads Neil Stephenson knows that that one is a doozy.
Yeah.
But it's a masterpiece of sci-fi, but it's a doozy.
Because I'm still working on Elizabeth Haydn and Salvatore, and those are slowing me way, way down. I think I've been working on the Salvatore book for like 3 weeks, and I'm still like halfway through it just because of how dense it is.
Let's just say there's no antagonist in Seven Eves. He somehow made like the existential dread be the antagonist. It's really well done.
Yeah, it is something. I don't know if I have the moxie to read Stevenson after going through so much high fantasy.
I wouldn't.
I need a break. But back to the Vikings. So, no idea how the Nords viewed the constellation of Virgo, but they do have goddesses of maidenhood and fertility. So, Sif, who is the wife of Thor, has golden hair that many scholars view as representative of golden wheat fields. And Ithun, who we've talked about, is the keeper of golden apples that kept the gods youthful and vigorous. And they are the two most likely candidates for a Virgo association. Until you get to Gevion. And I think Gevion gets the award for being the Norse goddess for Virgo because she is a virgin. That's one tick. She protects unmarried, thus virginal women too. She is strongly associated with plowing, harvesting, and agriculture. She ain't got no time for no man. Ain't nobody got time for that. She's got to get to the harvesting and the plowing. She got to work on stuff.
But she doesn't understand that when you're a farmer, you can't be a virgin. You got to have like 26 kids to work the farm.
She's a goddess. She can do whatever she wants.
Fair.
Moral rules don't apply to gods.
Well, we figured it out down here as humans, so.
To have 27 kids.
To work the farm.
I will say my mother's family started as farmers, and I think she was like 4 in a series of 8 pregnancies my grandmother had.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I want to say, because it was my grandfather started as a farmer, and I think my grandfather somehow only had like 4 siblings. Kind of low for back then.
Yeah, must not have been a very productive farm.
No, it was a dairy farm, and then he turned into a pig farm. I don't know. It was sold by the time I was born.
So you're descendant of farmers.
Yeah.
I believe I am too.
We probably all are, honestly.
That's kind of all you could do back then.
If your family moved out to the Midwest,
yeah,
you probably were a farmer. Like, that's just kind of the name of the game out there.
Oh, I just realized they probably went through the Dust Bowl.
My grandmother did not. I just finished Before Dorothy by Elizabeth Gaynor for my book club coming up, and it does talk about the Dust Bowl. Because the Dust Bowl, let's see, the crash happened in October of 29 is when the stock market fell apart. And then, yeah, it was during the 1930s. So my grandmother, who was from Wisconsin on my mom's side, which you can tell by the way I say Wisconsin.
And how you like cheese.
I love cheese. She was born in 33.
Okay. So was my grandma.
She was the sheriff's daughter, so she got spoiled real hard.
Yeah, that'll happen. Really quick, connecting some dots here, as Virgos do. The Dust Bowl, I was watching a thing the other day how that was probably just El Nino. And it is also an El Nino year.
Part of it was caused by that, but part of it too was caused because we got started a history podcast. That's what this is turning into. So part of it was caused by the just warmer years, but part of it was caused by over farming the land. They got all these new combustible engines, right, for their machines and their tractors and all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they were all excited to use it. What they did is they unintentionally took off all the protective topsoil.
Ooh. Yeah, I heard about this. That's right.
And then there wasn't rain for a long time. So you had a drought, and then you had no protective topsoil. So literally it's just dust everywhere.
Yeah, that was a great thing to happen during the Great Depression.
Yeah. And before then, it had already become kind of a problem because...
The droughts?
No. So when Auntie Em and Uncle Henry move out to Kansas in the book, that wheat was selling for like $2 a bushel, right? Which is a lot of money back in the 20s and 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not a cheap thing. And then because a bunch of people started moving out to Kansas and the Midwest to farm, more and more wheat was being produced. And so literally the price fell.
Supply and demand.
So that's also part of the problem. So they had like so much wheat sitting there but there was no way to get it hauled to the silos or get it processed so it just sat there and rotted.
Oh boy.
The wheat, the corn, it was like a compounding issue because, environmental things had not been taken care of because we didn't know any better. It was a brand new shiny toy and we screwed up.
Yeah. And speaking of rotting wheat, we'll go to the witch trials, and there was signs that might have been ergot poisoning from wheat not being stored right.
That is a rumor. I have not verified that rumor, I will say.
I think someone has, or at least it's a pretty dominant theory now.
But also, that would make the most sense because isn't it ergot that you derive LSD from? So if ergot's what LSD's from and they had ergot poisoning, yeah, I would be thinking there's like crazy magic happening too if I'm tripping balls on LSD.
Yeah.
And not knowing that I was tripping balls on LSD. Like, that's fair.
I think ergot might be a little bit more mild, but yeah, it was psychoactive.
I mean, ergot would probably be more mild, but you still don't know what's happening. You have no way of knowing that that's what caused the problem. So they're just eating bread or whatever, right? And they're getting ergot poisoning, and then they're seeing all this crazy crap happen.
I think they knew what ergot poisoning was back then. I think that was a problem for a long, long time on Earth.
But that doesn't mean that they actually knew that they had gotten poisoned, though.
If the whole town was poisoned and they're all in a psychosis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, should be another video game about that, like Outlast. But anyway, yeah, we're going off the rails. This is how my brain works. I just start connecting all these dots and going off on a tangent.
Yes. So LSD is derived from natural ergot alkaloids. So.
Derived, or was it synthetic?
It's derived from the alkaloids from ergot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're literally tripping balls. Love that. History is really funny when you start piecing things together. Anyway, let us know if you want a history podcast because I study way too much history.
We're going to call it Crystal Clear History. I like to connect a lot of dots. And sometimes I get false dots and it causes a lot of problems in my brain.
As a librarian, I'm pretty good at sorting out some of your false dots, though, because you'll say something, I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, actually, let me go double check.
Sometimes I learn a lot just through that, yeah.
So check your sources, guys, especially online. And also, we have a literacy crisis going on in America, and I'm a librarian. Go read a book.
Don't read Neil Stephenson's Seven Eves, though.
Just go read a book, any book. It doesn't have to be a classic. It doesn't have to be romantasy. It doesn't have to be anything. Just go read a book. If you have kids, have your kids read a book.
Quick book recommendation. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish is a banger.
Dude, it is.
Go read that, if anything.
Love some Dr. Seuss.
That's a good gateway book.
Fox and Socks was our big one in the house, I think.
We had Frog and Toad was really pushed on us because my second grade teacher really loved frogs. Do you remember Frog and Toad?
I do remember Frog and Toad. Do you want to hear the controversy about Frog and Toad?
Oh, there's controversy?
There's controversy.
Okay, this became a book episode?
They got challenged. They got the big old challenge to ban them.
Why'd they ban them? What did they do? Is because they might be homosexual?
Oh, 600% because they might be homosexuals.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Who cares?
Two males might have feelings for each other. Oh.
All right, we got to bring this back on the rails. Okay, we're going in Frog and Toad.
Don't get me started.
Okay, you guys.
Get me started. I love Banned Book Week, and Fahrenheit 451 is one of my favorite books of all time. So.
Yes, and Yeshua will tell you that a lot.
The Banned Book Week is coming up, and George Takei is the honorary chair this year, so we're going to talk about Japanese internment camps, baby!
Okay, George Takei is pretty cool.
George Takei is amazing.
I can't say much for his annoying Twitter page. I had to block him, but he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he tweets too much.
He's just whiny. We won't go that far down that hole, because it'll get political. And I'm not even talking about his politics, it's just he whines constantly.
Yeah, fair. Didn't he have like a super messed up name in Star Trek too? I feel like it was like the most stereotypically kind of racist thing that...
I'm not trying to insult you, George Takei.
We love you.
Brilliant mind, but your Twitter is just too whiny,
George,
okay? Just take it off.
George, we know you listen. Because obviously George Takei is going to listen to this,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I loved you in Star Trek. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was Sulu, right? George Takei played Hikaru Sulu, which I'm like, that's kind of... I don't know, guys. It was the 60s, all right?
As you can tell, as the subject is Virgo, we Virgo'd the heck out of this episode.
We did. Yeah, you can't get me started because you had to bring up books and you had to bring up history and you had to talk about things. And then it's like, well, the whole discussion's gone just off the rails. And here we are now talking about Sulu, which Sulu's arc is really good. He becomes a Starfleet captain. So props to Sulu.
Well, I think, at least we're keeping this one a little less boring.
Are our conversations boring?
I wouldn't say so, but I can imagine if we just stay on one track the whole time, like previous episodes, it might get a little dry.
There's nothing good I can say in this episode about dry when we're talking about virgins, so I'm just going to leave this here.
There's always poop and genitals, like I said.
There's always poop and genitals.
We were talking about the Dust Bowl. I don't remember where we were before that.
Farming. Okay, look,
Yeah,
because you're talking about Gevion.
Yes,
I got my
Go
notes.
back to Gevion. Let's get back on track.
Yep,
We gotta finish this off on track a little bit.
Right, yeah.
okay?
So Gevion is the virgin goddess. I said this. Who protects unmarried women. She's like Bridget in the Celts, about like the harvest and we talked about Bridget in the Imbolc episode, so go back and listen to that. But she's very much like that. She's that goddess, right? She's very much like it's time to plant and it's time to do the harvesting and agriculture and all the good stuff. I want to say she reminds me a little bit of the Hellenic Demeter. For some reason, Demeter gives me the ick, and Gevion, when I looked into her, didn't give me the ick, so I don't know. Demeter only gives me the ick because she's a controlling mother.
Fair.
Which again, go listen to the Persephone episode. I have thoughts on Demeter.
Well, keep your thoughts on Virgo because we're running real long on this episode, guys. Sorry. Not sorry.
It's late. We're tired. It's what it is. You guys are going to get some wonkiness sometimes out of us. So, as much as we can, I think we've made, let's see, the Dust Bowl, Vikings, the Catholic Church.
Neil Stevenson.
George Takei. What else? What else are we throwing that? Oh, banned books. Frog and Toad. Anyway, so we probably made that a little bit more clear, but I hope
doubt it.
I hope that somewhere through all of that hot mess at the end, we have made Virgo crystal clear.
We at least made me crystal clear.
Bye.
Bye.
Follow us on Threads and Insta at Wormsong Media. That's WYRMSONG Media. Want to reach out to us? Email us at wormsongmedia@gmail.com. Again, that's WYRMSONGMEDIA@gmail.com.